what's going to shock people in the years ahead is that the technologies that really the seeds for all of them were planted in the 20 years that ended in the tech and telecom bubble. So those were the seeds. They've been germinating ever since. And now they're ready to blossom. They're ready for prime time. And it's not just one or two seeds, which has been the history of innovation, like the transistor and the internet and so forth. It's five major platforms involving 14 different technologies. So each of them is evolving, ready for prime time, ready to scale at growth rates that, depending on the technology, are anywhere from 20% to 50% per year.
The world is on the brink of a massive technological revolution that the IMF says could jumpstart productivity, boost global growth, and raise income worldwide. According to a blog post from January, the International Monetary Fund estimates that roughly 60% of jobs in advanced economies will be impacted by AI. While half of the exposed jobs may benefit from AI integration, enhancing productivity, AI will be particularly disruptive for the other half. AI applications may execute key tasks currently performed by humans, which could lower labor demand, lead to lower wages, and, in extreme cases, completely remove the need for human workers. According to renowned analysts and prominent investors, there is no stopping the coming storm. The only way to prepare is to seize the multi-trillion-dollar opportunity by investing. Fortunately, renowned American investor and star stock picker Cathie believes she has cracked the code to help investors position themselves appropriately for the massive opportunities ahead. According to research from Cathie's asset management firm, ARK Invest, 5 innovation platforms are converging to create unprecedented growth trajectories for the world. Cathie is quite bullish on these disruptive innovation platforms and has predicted that the market value of these platforms will go from $13 trillion in 2024 to over $200 trillion by 2030, providing immense opportunities for everyone, especially investors who get in early. This is why Cathie is predicting massive explosions in crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Her bull case for Bitcoin is $1.5 million and almost $200,000 for Ethereum by 2030. During a recent interview with OPTO Sessions, Cathie talked about the coming technological and industrial revolution and how investors can appropriately position themselves for massive gains. As we bring you clips from the interview, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications bell for more videos like this. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
It's not just one or two seeds, which has been the history of innovation, like the transistor and the internet and so forth. It's five major platforms involving 14 different technologies. So multi-omic sequencing in the life science space, robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, and blockchain technology. So each of them is evolving, ready for prime time, ready to scale at growth rates that, depending on the technology, are anywhere from 20% to 50% per year. AI is a big catalyst here, and that's how we get to convergence. Each of these technologies leads to exponential growth, so sustained growth at a very strong rate. But think about the convergence of these technologies, these 5 major platforms. What you have is all of these S-curves feeding each other, which we think is going to create super exponential growth. And what that means, and what will be so unexpected here, is that already strong growth rates will accelerate and we think create massive productivity gains and opportunities for wealth creation. Artificial intelligence is a huge part of this. In fact, it is catalyzing the other technologies and accelerating them all. The biggest increase in productivity is in knowledge workers. We think there will be at least a 4-fold increase, probably more, during the next 6-7 years. And knowledge workers account for $13 trillion in wages and salaries. So think about that. The productivity, one person can do 4 times more than he or she was able to do, a few years ago. We're already seeing this with coders. Coders, their productivity already at this very early stage is up anywhere from 50 to 100%. Technologies are inherently deflationary, but this is good deflation. They submit to learning curves, which we can measure in terms of costs coming down, and that's passed along in terms of prices. So this is good deflation. And it usually causes booms in unit growth. So all of those 5 platforms, we're going to see massive growth coming out of those. On the other side of that is going to be creative destruction. And what is that? It's really the disintermediation or the disruption of the traditional world order, which is really interesting because many investors now feel very comfortable in these large, broad-based indexes like MSCI World or S&P 500 or NASDAQ. But we think there's going to be a lot of disruption there and to the economy. So it'll feel a little chaotic. The sectors that are ripe for disruption include the entire transportation sector as we go to autonomous mobility, all of financial services as we move into blockchain technology, which is simply the internet financial system. It's the layer of the internet that developers forgot to put in the early 90s. So here it is. It's happening finally, and it's going to upend traditional financial services.
According to ARK Invest's research, breakthroughs in artificial intelligence will be a remarkable catalyst in the exponential growth of these platforms. The firm estimates that the global equity market value associated with disruptive innovation could increase from 16% of the total equity market cap in 2024 to over 60% by 2030. It further estimates that the annualized equity return associated with disruptive innovation could exceed 40% in 6 years, increasing its market cap from approximately $19 trillion today to roughly $220 trillion by 2030. In contrast, ARK's research estimates a more conservative growth for non-innovation platforms, which it believes could go from $98 trillion today to $140 trillion by 2030. Lastly, the firm estimates varying rates of growth for each of the 5 platforms: 37% for artificial intelligence, 50% for energy storage, 48% for public blockchains, 78% growth for robotics, and 39% for multi-omic sequencing. Let's get back to Cathie's interview as she speaks further about Bitcoin and the blockchain and the importance of being appropriately positioned for these lifetime opportunities.
A big wake-up call for the financial world in terms of Bitcoin was during the regional bank crisis last year, as the KRE, which is the regional bank index here in the United States, was absolutely imploding. When Silicon Valley Bank and others went under, Bitcoin increased 40%. And, many people who just refused to look at Bitcoin said, wait a minute, what? There's nothing like price action in a bad market, good price action in a bad market, to elicit the interest of investors who were poo-pooers before. And so that's what happened, because for the first time, Bitcoin became a risk-off asset in their eyes. They had only thought of it as a risk-on asset, very volatile, does well in bull markets. But this was a very loud signal. And I think the SEC signal, the green light with the ETFs, our spot ETF, ARKB is one of them, did get more and more people thinking about what you said, Ed. This is a new asset class. So advisor community, you may not like it inherently, but you must take a point of view and tell your clients why you're not including it. Because the history of new asset classes is that when you put an allocation into one of these new asset classes, into your existing portfolio, the return per unit of risk goes up because of the diversification and the low correlation to other assets. And so a lot more advisors and investors are taking it seriously now. Mm-hmm. And what I say to most people, not just investors, is you need to know about this kind of research, and you need to familiarize yourself, not just because of your investments, but because of your life. The world is going to transform so completely, we think, during the next 5 to 10 years because of these 5 platforms evolving at the same time, that you're not going to recognize it. So if you want to guide your children or your grandchildren to the right side of change, you have to go back to the early 1900s to even get a sense of this. That was telephone, electricity, and internal combustion engine. This is much bigger than that.
Meanwhile, Bitcoin and other top cryptocurrencies experienced a sharp price spike on Monday, as spot Bitcoin ETF trading volume increased sharply and hit new all-time highs. Bitcoin rose by over 10%, hitting the $57,000 mark for the first time since December 2021, with nearly $200 million in Bitcoin shorts liquidated. Top altcoins, such as Ethereum and Solana, also posted daily gains of 6.5% and 10.4%, respectively. XRP, Cardano, Avalanche, and Dogecoin also posted significant daily gains with 5, 7, 8, and 12% increases, respectively. According to senior Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas, the newborn 9-spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded a new all-time high in trading volume on Monday, surpassing $2.4 billion within a 24-hour period. Eric's latest update on X reads, "It's official. The new 9 Bitcoin ETFs have broken all-time volume record today with $2.4 billion, just barely beating day one, but about double their recent daily average. IBIT went wild, accounting for $1.3 billion of it, breaking its record by about 30%. According to data from BitMEX Research, the spot Bitcoin ETFs saw $520 million in net inflows on Monday, the third biggest day since they were launched on January 11th. The ETFs have accumulated 295,385 Bitcoin in just 31 trading days, with $6 billion recorded net of the GBTC outflows, which also dropped to a new low of $22 million yesterday. With these ETFs still going very strong after 31 trading days, what is your prediction for Bitcoin and other top cryptocurrencies in the coming days and after the halving? Please drop your predictions, as well as comments and observations on Cathie Wood's interview, in the comment section below. Also, ensure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more interesting market updates. Thanks for watching.